Okay, so in all fairness, this is not the latest review I've ever done for a movie. I mean, let's be honest, I reviewed Star Wars Episode 4 40 years after it came out, so I think I'm okay getting to The Accountant 2 just a little bit late. Um, so, as you can tell from that opening and the thumbnail and the title of the video, we're going to be talking about The Accountant 2 today. I know it's been out for a little while, I know I am like 2 weeks late to it, but I only just got to see it, I've been a little busy. YouTube is not my day job anymore, so it's hard for me to be right on top of things. But I just saw The Accountant 2, and because it's been out for so long, I feel like I could be a little bit nebulous about spoilers here. Because if you are watching this video, you've probably already seen the movie, and we can discuss things a little bit more in depth. Not that this movie is too particularly deep. Um, excuse me. I think just like, just going in right away, comparing this one to the last one, I prefer the first Accountant movie over this one. And that's for a couple of reasons. I think one, this movie's a little too long. And in that, I mean, there's a lot of scenes between Ben Affleck and John Barenthal, Chris and Braxton, that are meant to further develop their relationship as brothers. It's character work, and I'm somebody that typically feels like you're only wasting time in a movie if the scene is not pushing the story forward or establishing your characters. And most of these scenes are establishing characters, but it feels like it's late or forced in a certain way. Because in the last movie they wanted it to be a secret that that John Bernthal was his brother from the flashbacks and all that stuff. So they had to avoid seeing each other until the very end of the movie. And then, when they do see each other and you do find out, like, oh, that's Braxton, that's his brother, there's only like 2 minutes left in the movie. And something that this movie does that I also don't like about like Ghostbusters 2 or any other sequel that does this is instead of like allowing there to have been off-screen development, it's just like a full reset to the last time that we saw these characters, like in Ghostbusters 2, for example. Because at the end of the first movie, Dr. Venkman and Dana seem like they're getting together and they're going to be together. They're going to be a couple. And then in the next movie, it turns out that they broke up. Dana got with somebody else, got pregnant, had the child, and then that person left, and then they get back together again. At the end of the first Accountant, it seems like Braxton and Christian are going to like rebuild their relationship as brothers, and like they're going to be okay from now on. In this movie, it turns out they have not seen each other since the last time that we saw them together, so it's been 8 years and their relationship has pretty much reset and defaulted back to how it was before they reunited in the first place. I don't see what the point of that is. And so there's so many scenes that have to like do the heavy lifting of establishing that like these guys are brothers, they do care about each other, even though they're butting heads right now. And so the plot kind of grinds to a halt at several different times throughout the movie, but it's like, based on what the main thing is that's happening here, because we're dealing with like human trafficking and stuff like that, like it seems like we're on a timer and we don't have time to be screwing around like this. But that's whatever. I do appreciate Braxton having such a bigger role in this movie and the two of them actually interacting on screen for so long. That's greatly appreciated. I love John Barenthal, and I think that I feel like he elevates everything he's in. Wolf of Wall Street, King Richard, Daredevil, obviously. Anywhere he goes, I'll go too. So I like seeing him here and having more to do. It's just that, I don't know, I feel like we could have been using the time a little bit more efficiently. Also, this movie is a little busier plot-wise than the first one was. There's a lot more moving pieces, it feels like. And, spoilers here, but J.K. Simmons' character, Agent King or whatever, he gets killed like 5 minutes in. And it's all because of this particular character that, like, it seems like the whole plot is revolving around, but that character, I think, only has 3, maybe 4 scenes in the whole movie. And it's like, you could have removed her and replaced her with, like, some goon from, like, the criminal enterprise that we're dealing with in this movie, and most of the events of the film would have remained unchanged. That's a little disappointing. I would have liked for the Edith character, is what her name is. I would have liked for Edith to have more to do, because they set her up to be significant in some way when she's really not. She only interacts with Christian Wolf once. I don't know. It just feels like a lot of wasted potential there. I would have liked to see more of her. From there on, you know, it's just like the plot is really nothing special. It's just kind of cookie cutter, you know. It's kind of like a Taken, or, you know, it's just like your average, you know, action movie that comes out in the spring or at the very start of summer that the family goes to see, and, you know, you got to stop this bad guy who's doing this bad thing. The only difference is Ben Affleck is here and he's playing a character with autism. What I will give these movies props for is doing research. It feels like these movies are made with care to portray people with autism spectrum disorder as real people. And, you know, some people do have a version of autism that makes them exceptionally gifted at something, or adept at learning things, or able to pick things up extremely quickly. And, you know, that's what this is about. That's what Christian Wolf is. But it's not, it doesn't come across as, like, disrespectful, or, like, treating it as just, like, some sort of superpower, the way that, like, The Predator from 2018 did. Or, like, that show Scorpion. If anybody's seen that show Scorpion, with, like, the super geniuses that make up, like, some sort of, like, elite squad for the government, then you know what I'm talking about. It's not like that. It all does still seem within the scope of possibility and believability, and all of that is refreshing, I guess, when you're watching a movie like this. It's just, I don't know, it's difficult because it's nothing to write home about. It's not, like, mind-blowingly good or offensively bad. It's just a very alright movie. I don't know, these are, like, the more difficult movies to review when there's nothing crazy to say in one direction or the other. You can't really be like, man, this movie blew chunks out of its ass, or, oh, this movie blew my mind out of the back of my skull, because it didn't do either of those things. It's just a cool way to spend 2 hours, I guess. It's enjoyable. If I was going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 6.5. And for reference, I would give The First Accountant maybe a 7.5. So, just slightly less enjoyable than the first one. It's not like a necessarily worse film, it's just that the first one is better. But all this time later, if you have seen The Accountant 2, what do you think about it? What would you rate it? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below and educate me. And as always, if you want more videos from me, go ahead and click somewhere on the screen. I'm sure there's a portal that would take you to another one. And I'll see you later.